This video is brought to you by my two books, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist and The Blues Guitar Bible. Want to learn about modes, harmony, scales, chord substitution and keys? Or maybe you're interested in supercharging your blues guitar rhythm and lead chops. Whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you will be hitting the fast lane to progress with either of these works. Both feature video demonstrations and tutorials, loads of tabs and jam tracks to play along with, and I promise you, everything is explained in crystal clear plain English. Check out the links in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now if you're watching on Thursday, you'll have seen me giving my first impressions of this guitar, a Fender Stratocaster. More specifically a Fender Player 2 HSS Stratocaster in Aquatone Blue, and I said that today, Sunday, I'd be giving you a little bit more of an in-depth look at the guitar, taking some weights and measures and seeing what it sounds like, or hearing rather, what it sounds like in a mix. So let's get busy with that first of all. Here's this guitar in my usual 2.5 minute demo kind of tune that tries to encompass all of the sort of sounds that you'd expect to get out of, you know, an electric guitar. Here it is. And as always, you'll find a full tab for that piece of music in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it and a jam track to play along with yourself. That's all up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. As you probably know by now, it's $3 or about £3 a month, and you get access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. And of course, a massive, heartfelt, humongous, sincere thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are down in the description. A little bit more housekeeping. The crunchy power chord tones were the Blue Guitar Amp 1 Mercury edition on the Vintage channel, as were the clean tones. I was just rolling the guitar's volume off to clean things up a bit. Very important aspect of a guitar for me, that if the sound just turns to mud when you roll the volume off, then, you know, it's what's the point in the volume control being there, basically? But this guitar really did, you know, clean up very nicely. So that's the sort of crunchy and clean tones. The shouty high gain stuff, once again, same amp, just on a different channel, the classic channel there with the foot switchable boost. Those were the settings I was using, and well, pretty much the same settings I use for all guitar kind of reviews and demonstrations in these videos. I've had a little bit of not so much a telling off, but a request that if I could show some more close-ups of the guitars that I'm demonstrating and reviewing in these videos. So we're going to cut now to some B-roll that I shot earlier, where we'll also take a look at the weights and measures and weight, nut width, all that sort of stuff that pertain to this guitar. Okay, we have a weight of 3.67 kilos and a nut width of 42 millimeters. You can see the 1st and 12th fret neck profiles there, fairly standard, as you would expect, Fender C-shaped neck, really. Fretboard radius is the expected Fender 9.5 inches, 9.5 inches. And then we come to the pickup readings. The bridge humbucker, 7.26K. The middle single coil is actually slightly hotter than that at 7.64. And the neck single coil, 7.13. So we seem to have some rather hotly wound single coils and a really kind of low wind vintage style humbucker going on. So what do we think of this guitar then, or what do I think, because that's what I'm doing here, telling you my thoughts on it. I've had a lot of fun playing it, as I've said many times. I don't dislike Strats, but they're just not sort of where my musical centre of gravity lies at the moment. You know, but it's a fun guitar to play. There are none of the fit and finish issues that other reviewers have found on recent Fender guitars. My pal Steve Cassidy had a Player 2 Strat, just the SSS version, in for review a little while ago, and he found issues with the nut. I think that the slots weren't cut correctly or weren't spaced correctly, something like that. There's absolutely nothing like that going on here. No fit and finish issues at all. Fretwork is, you know, everything that you'd want it to be. This would pass the old Phil McKnight nylon sock test without any issues whatsoever. And like fret sprout is something that I've noticed on a few Fenders in recent years, but this one doesn't have any issues like that. Nice low action. I think I measured this in Thursday's video and it came out 1.25 millimeters at the 12th fret. Effortless to play. It's well set up. It's got a good set of tones that you would expect from a guitar like this. You know, nice single coil tones. The humbucker, as I said in that kind of bit of B-roll there, it's got a very kind of vintagey, humbuckery kind of sound to it. Cleans up nicely from the volume control. As I said, that's something this guitar is particularly good at. And it just generally feels well put together. So there's a lot to like about this guitar, but there are a couple of minor flies in the ointment, as it were. First of all, you know, no single coil switching on the humbucker. You know, you should be able to pull that switch up there and, you know, kind of knock this into single coil mode, call it coil tapping, coil splitting. You know what I'm talking about, where you basically get a single coil tone out of this, which in that demo piece, the first bit of clean lead guitar was the bridge and middle pickups together, and it just didn't really sound convincingly like that tone to me. It didn't have that hollow quackiness which you could have got just by having, you know, some sort of single coil switching on the humbucker. So I mean, it's an easy enough mod to do, but should you really need to be modding a guitar when it's you know, well, we'll discuss the price in a moment. The other thing is, and I mentioned this in Thursday's video, This nowadays it feels like a little bit of an anachronism. This kind of old 4-bolt blocky neck heel thing here, it just needs to be better. You know, I mean, my Nashville telly that you can see on the wall back there, that has a bit more of a sculpted neck joint, and that's an older guitar, still made in Mexico like this one, and it just seems that Fender have taken a retrograde step by deleting that contour there. So that needs to be better, I think. And then we have to talk about the elephant in the room, the price. Depending where you buy one of these, this guitar will cost you between $629 and $699. So, you know, mid to high 600s as an average. And if you were to go shopping for a guitar with broadly the same specifications of that, well, I just haven't been shopping, but I've been window shopping. Let's take a look at the Jet JS480. We get locking machine heads, we don't get on the Fender. We get roasted maple neck, rosewood fretboard, not some faux rosewood laurel kind of thing that Fender are using for their darker fretboards. We get a bone nut. We get still get the Alnico pickups. You know, the body is roasted poplar, and if we just take a look at some of the pictures here, now this is a very handsome looking beast indeed, and there's our neck joint there. You know, if other manufacturers can do this at a price point that I believe is somewhere around about £340, then it's, and gold hardware as well, then to me it sort of begs the question, why can't Fender do it on a £700 guitar? And the answer is, well, obviously they can do it, they just choose not to. So £340 for that Jet versus, call it $650, $670, something like that for the Fender. Yeah, if you're shopping with your head rather than your heart, then you'll go and buy the Jet. But we don't buy guitars with our head, do we? We buy them with our heart. We are prepared to pay a premium for a brand name on the headstock. I've done it. I mean, this guitar here we go. It's a Gibson Les Paul Tribute. You know, it's been modded. I've had stainless steel frets fitted and the Grandpa Joe challenge coin there and everything, but essentially I paid £1,000 for an entry-level Gibson Les Paul. The single cut that I had before this was a Harley Benton SC 550, and you know, that was a nice guitar, but there was just that little voice inside me head which was saying, you want a Gibson, you want a Gibson, you want a Gibson. And I suspect that there will be some brand name that will do that for pretty much every guitar player out there, or most of us anyway. You know, I can easily imagine this guitar being someone's either, you know, workhorse instrument that they use for everything and, you know, get their money's worth out of it. Equally, I can imagine it being someone's, you know, much-loved pride and joy because, you know, they've seen, let's get it in shot, they've seen that brand name on the headstock of all of their heroes growing up, and, you know, they're now in a position where they can get that guitar. And, you know, we can, as I say, it's head versus heart. I wouldn't pay £700 or thick end of it for this, but plenty of people will. So when we come to the question of, is it worth it? It's worth what people are prepared to pay for it. And people are prepared to pay the prices that Fender are asking. So ultimately, yes, it is worth it. Not to everybody, but to enough people. That's why the price is what it is. And there you go, folks. That is my little review of the Fender Player 2 Series HSS Strat in Aquatone Blue. Make of it what you will. I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful, informative and entertaining in some small way at least. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. Why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. And of course, don't forget the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time. We drink beer and talk about stuff. Basically that's it. There's no grand plan, it's just beer and chat on a Friday. What's not to like about that? It's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But until then, I'll wish you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.